was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
So welcome everybody to the Arsenal 101 channel. Don't forget, if you're new, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm joined here this evening, Saturday evening, for a preview of the Chelsea game versus Arsenal at Stamford Bridge tomorrow afternoon, kickoff 4:30, by Chelsea supporter Dave, a good friend of mine for many years. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just anticipating tomorrow.
Yeah, you must be feeling slightly confident, I would imagine.
I think it's going to be two good teams in form with two very, very key matchups. Or not key matchup, but like one big key matchup that I can see already, kind of in the middle of the park. So I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a good game, I think.
Okay, so let me start by breaking down what Arsenal are bringing to the table tomorrow. Obviously, top of the table, only one defeat all season, conceded 6 goals, 6 clean sheets, or 7 clean sheets, I think it is. 12 goals from open play. Chelsea, also, 2 defeats? Or a defeat and a draw?
Yeah, I think with us, what's been good is our recent form, and I think that's what we can bring to the table. And also, we're riding a wave of momentum at the moment,
Okay.
especially after like the Barca game.
Yeah.
Again, I think you win a couple of big games, and then you're literally, you're on a high, and it doesn't matter who turns up.
Yeah.
You're kind of you're in that mode where you're like, do you know what? We can win this. Like, we can beat anyone. So, and
Yeah, why not?
yeah, I think again that we'll talk about the match, the big matchup in the middle of the park, but
Yeah.
it's probably the two best midfield players in the Premier League going head to head against each other.
So that would be Moses Caicedo versus Declan Rice, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, two dynamic players in each team. Obviously, Declan is coming into his own at the moment. He's been playing so well of late. Moses Caicedo is just a rock for you guys in the middle. He's cleaning up. He's setting off attacks. He's passing through the lines. So yeah, absolutely. I recognize he's having a fantastic season. A player that Arsenal at one time were linked with, and I wouldn't have said no to him being at Arsenal. I mean, imagine if we had Caicedo and Rice in the same team, how dynamic that would have been. So, yeah, I mean, as you said, Chelsea are on a high at the moment, having beaten a very good Barcelona team in the Champions League on Wednesday night, 3-0 at the Bridge. You got people scoring goals from all over, right? I didn't even know who your top goal scorer is at the moment.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, and this is where, and really late news that's coming recently is that Cole Palmer could be fit to start.
Yeah, that's the news that I've heard.
Which we weren't anticipating. I mean, based on the press conference, before kind of like the Barca game, it was he's not going to be available for the next 2 or 3 fixtures. Well, now he's in contention to start apparently. So it adds that dynamism that we have, towards the top end of the field, and it's going to be interesting to see what he starts with because. Again, against Barca, he went for Neto, like, playing up top. And it was a bit curious because you had Delap and you had João Pedro on the bench.
Yeah.
But it was the right call. It was the right call because he was breaking, we were playing the ball behind their defence, and Neto was fast enough to get there. And then you have Estavio, who at the moment looks, I mean, he looks a player. He looks a player. They're talking about, Yamal or a Stavio, but he looks like a problem. But I don't know whether he's going to start him. I mean, we've got so many options.
Yeah. And that's
It's
the
just
thing, isn't it? I mean, both teams have strengthened. I mean, Chelsea have obviously taken a couple of years in that strengthening process. Arsenal did it very quickly in the summer of this year. But we're now both at a similar stage in we both spent a lot of money, but we both
yeah.
had very strong squads.
Yeah, I mean, I said, if you remember what I said at the start when we done a podcast at the start of the season, I said, I think if you get Eze, I think you win the league. I don't know if you can recall that.
Vaguely, yeah.
I said, if you get Eze, I think you'll win the league because I think he's that good, and it's just kind of come in tune where he's obviously performing at a rate where you know this time last year you'd have Odegaard who was injured, I think, weren't he? He was injured for quite a while and
That's right.
you just didn't have a creator. And
Correct.
I think Eze, provides not just cover for him, but also potentially an improvement on Martinelli as well. So
Yeah.
and that's so like he was just so good at Palace, and I think he's starting to show how good he is as a player.
Yeah, and he did get a little bit of criticism from some ends of the Arsenal supporter base because of what appeared like a slow start to the season for him. But you got to allow a bedding in period, and I think he's had that. He's obviously worked his way into understanding how the team plays. He's worked himself into understanding when he can make runs, when he can, when he's needed to drop deep, etc. And it's really interesting, the dynamic between himself and Mikel Moreno, who some people consider Mikel Moreno to be a false nine, but actually in the Spurs game it was Eze who was the false nine, and Moreno was more often deeper and playing the ball up towards Eze, and Eze was at the top end of the pitch, pressing from the front. Apollo's in the house. He says, "Hey lads, good show. Just landed back in the UK. Welcome back." Apollo's been in Dubai. Glad to hear that he's back safe and sound. So yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Eze up against your defence and our attack against your defence?
I think if we look at Arsenal going forward, it's probably gonna help us like it's at the bridge. First of all, not just because of the fan base, but actually if you think about it, the pitch is smaller, it's more compact at Stamford Bridge than it is at obviously at the Emirates. I think at the Emirates when you've got such like a big kind of when the dimensions are obviously bigger, it's a massive advantage to Arsenal. Whereas when it's a bit smaller, a bit almost like on top, like almost like the game gets on top of you at the bridge sometimes. That favours us quite a lot. That almost like that run and gun kind of kind of play. I think defensively, it's going to be interesting to see who we play because we've got obviously Kukurea. I think he done a big job on Yamal during the week, and I think he's had previous success against Saka as well. In fairness, so I think it's going to be interesting to see that kind of matchup. Centre halves. I mean, Fofana's just come back as well, and he looks okay. But and
No
then
Levi Colwell. So who's going to be joining Fofana?
I mean, realistically, you probably got. Just trying to think of it. I mean, obviously, Colwell's injured, so he's out pretty much up until Jan Feb time. I mean, I don't know if I'm having an absolute mind blank here, but it'll probably be Chalobah. And I think
Yeah.
Chalobah this season has done well. He's had spells where he looks towards what I would say as looking like a proper, almost like continuing the form when he went on loan to Palace. But
Yeah,
he's also had a few moments where it's been a bit like, I'm not too sure. And then you've got the right backs scenario where against Barca, we played Reece James in midfield, and then we went Gusto at right back. So is he going to continue with maybe paying like a James Casado and Enzo free? I think that could be likely, and I think James is such a strong footballer as well, just with a good kind of presence. Leadership wise is good. I mean, he embodies quite a lot of the ethos of the club. To be honest with you, again, academy boy as well. So
yeah,
that will be interesting. And also it allows Enzo to get up the pitch. So I think that defence, again, is very choppy changey against Arsenal's attack, where you're probably going to have Eze, you'll probably have Saka. I mean, I don't know who you'll play up top. Gokeres, is he in line to start or?
so yeah, Gyökeres is fit. He was involved in full training on Friday, so he's ready to go. However, of course, he hasn't been in action for a few weeks, so the manager might decide not to put him in. And obviously, we saw that the team performed really well against the Bayern Munich team on Wednesday, with Mikel Moreno up top. And as I said, swapping that role with Eze, that they might just say, you know what, that worked so well Wednesday. Why not just continue it and see how we go?
Yeah, I think it would be a big. I think you've got the template there that Chelsea can look at for that buying game, and I think you might need to come up with something a bit more kind of, I say, defensively sound. I would say, because I think Chelsea are going to be. I think we're going to really be on you from the first whistle.
Yeah,
and I think it's not going to be a game like we've had in the past, where I think Arsenal have been able to control possession, have been able to really establish that they're the better football inside. I think this is going to be a real cagey game. I don't think it's going to be free flowing, and I think it comes down to the middle of the park, to be honest with you, and just almost. I think it is that key battle, Rice against Casado, and who's going to come out on top.
yeah. Let's talk about one of your former players who's coming back, Noni Madueke. What do you think of him coming back? And obviously he did come off the bench on Wednesday night, and he's been very bright for us since he came to the club. What's your thoughts there?
I mean, he's always been. I liked Madueke at Chelsea. I think for him, it was always the end product. It was always the end product with Madueke, where it's a case of what's this, Arsenal in and not pick up any, and nothing. Okay, would be a bonus. I mean, yeah. I mean, Casado red card would be a bonus. It's like going Rice having a red card would be a bonus. Like, I think just on the Madueke that I did like him at Chelsea. I think he's direct, and
Yeah.
that's what you need. Somebody that you get the ball out wide, and you can go right. Just go at your fullback. Go at your fullback. Yeah. I think for him, it looks like he's prepared to accept a role as maybe, you know what, you're going to be in that rotation of kind of like wingers, where it's going to be Saka, Madueke, Martinelli. Obviously, that those kind of free wingers are going to be, throughout kind of Prem games and stuff. But I think he's done okay for you.
Yeah,
he hasn't.
sure.
I don't think he's. I mean, he hasn't set the world alight, but I don't think he's. I don't think he's that type of player to set the world alight. I think you've got your star boy, Saka, and I think Madueke just provides another option, potentially if if he's not working out, and also on the left. I didn't like him on the left though at Chelsea. I'll be honest. I thought he was so much better on the right, and I don't know what your thoughts are.
So he has predominantly played on the right. During the midweek against Bayern, he came in to replace Trossard on the left. And, obviously he got a goal, which was his first for Arsenal, but he has predominantly played on the right, which is obviously Bukayo Saka's position. I do think Bukayo Saka has had decent joy out of Cucurella, which is, obviously a very strong defender for you guys on the left.
Do you
But
think?
It's going to be interesting.
I remember last time at the bridge. I don't think he had much success.
Well, considering he won the game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about that individual matchup.
Yeah. I'm confident. It's been a battle royale between Saka and Cucurella over the years. One which, from my perspective, and obviously, I'm there to be shot down, but I think Saka's had the better of the matchup, although it's been a very interesting and intriguing matchup every time.
Yeah, I think I think Cucurella has. I think he's surprised a lot of people with how good defensively he is.
Yeah.
And I think what we've done is we've trusted him in those matchups. I think we've trusted him with Yamal. We'll trust him against Saka. So I think it's going to be very interesting. And also, I think there's just something about Cucurella that no one likes. From a Chelsea perspective, I love it. I think other rival fans look at him, his like, his big hair and stuff like that. He just probably comes across as quite an unlikable player, does he, really? But he's been performing at a really good rate for the last, I'd say, season and a half. So that's another key matchup there. And I think, but I based on performances, I'd back Cucurella to do somewhat of a job on Saka.
Okay. I mean, you're entitled to that. He has been having a very good season, and as you said, he's dealt amply with Lamine Yamal in the midweek, and I don't think really too many players have had much joy out of him. He's a dual threat in that he's a very good defender, but he's also a very good attacker and can find himself in good positions up the field. Much like we find with Jurrien Timber, who also scored this week in midweek from a set piece, and Ricardo Calafiori, who's also a very good defender and a very good attacker. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, look, we both got attacking fullbacks who can do stuff at the other end of the pitch. I know there's been a debate about whether Jurrien Timber is the best right back in the country. I mean, I'm biased, but I don't see anybody coming close. Reece James, to me, I'm not sure if we'll see him at right back again. I don't think we'll see him at right back tomorrow. But Jurrien Timber, to me, best right back in the country, possibly in Europe.
I mean, it's. I think he's. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Timber as right back, and don't get me wrong. I think he's a very, very good right back. I think he's kind of in the top. We call it the top echelon of kind of like right backs. Best in the country, maybe, but I don't know who else we could nominate for that. It's not like Trent's gone, so ultimately, there's no.
He's way better. I mean, he's way better than Trent. I mean, let's be honest.
Really,
Trent is a good player for the Reece James type role. For that, let's go into midfield and let's do stuff from there. But I'll be honest with you, I watched Jurrien Timber week in, week out. He's beating players for fun. His ball winning, his reading of the game, his duels. And not only that, he's a threat at the other end of the pitch. He will score you goals. I'm sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you look at, and I know we're kind of going on to another player now with Trent, like who's irrelevant in this kind of matchup. But if you look at the impact that he's had in terms of leaving Liverpool, like Salah doesn't look like the same. That team doesn't look the same. So I think maybe it's the balance that he had at Liverpool, the going forward, the passes that he could play, the quick initiations of counter attacks that he could set up.
Yeah.
As a footballer, he's tremendous. I think there's that, and it's not really like going back onto it. I mean, what other right backs are in that discussion? Really, as the best in the country, it's not
No one
many.
else is jumping out on that one,
Yeah.
are they? I mean,
I think-
obviously in Europe you've got Hakimi, but other than Hakimi, I'm struggling to think of a right back who's as effective as Jurriën Timber.
Yeah, sometimes you just want. Obviously, you got. I know Trent's gone to Madrid, but Carvajal is a steady fullback, steady right back. I'm just trying to think of other. But then a lot of the time, you almost like what's happened with Reece James coming into midfield. You look at Kimmich, and he's kind of bombed into midfield when he used to be a fullback at one point. So
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, he probably is based upon, I can't really think of too many other right backs that fit into that world class category or just best in the world at the moment. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how he gets on tomorrow.
Yeah,
because talking about the Arsenal,
I mean, he's up against a good one, a live one in Esteval. If Esteval plays on that side as expected,
I don't know if he will. I think.
Or is it Neto or
It will probably be. I think he'll probably go up against Neto, and
Garnacho?
I think Garnacho. Yeah, I mean it's a weird. Garnacho didn't play I don't think he played against Barca, so he could be in line to play against Timber. And what I'd say about Garnacho is, I don't think Garnacho's he's had an okay. He's had a good start to his Chelsea career, but he's not a star player. Like, I think Esteval is such a star, whereas I think Garnacho's a steady player who will play kind of the way that that Maresca wants us to play, i.e. pressing, i.e. trying to play balls through quickly, and yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to be the player that we're going to be targeting. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Maresca, I'm definitely moving Esteval anywhere away from Jurriën Timber. Put him up against Calafiori, because that's a matchup what I feel he would probably get more joy out of than coming up, every other minute against Jurriën Timber, who is a beast.
I think one of the key to this game could be the midfield, and I think the midfield. If I'm looking at the Barca performance, and you go, do you know what? Copy paste James, Caicedo, and Enzo, and I think Enzo's a player that now that he's been given the license to really move forward because he's got that security behind him. And you've got Caicedo, who is really up and down, can do it all.
Yeah,
we're seeing a better Enzo Fernandez, who is scoring more goals, this season. So it's going to be interesting against Arsenal's midfield, where who you'll have. Obviously, you'll have Declan Rice in there.
Yeah, Zubimendi will be next to him,
and I think Zubimendi has quietly he's quietly gone about his business, but he looks a fantastic buy.
Yeah,
and this is going to be a big game for him, where we're going to see how good he is on the ball, because he's going to get pressured.
sure. And obviously he got caught out last week against Spurs, where he lost the ball, and Spurs scored from that loss. I mean, that kind of probably came at the right time for him, but he can now look at that and go, I don't have that kind of time. I don't have the ability to, spend that amount of time trying to find my pass. I need to make a pass much quicker in the midfield, especially against a midfield like Chelsea have, which is very quick. Attacking and relinquishing the ball.
I mean, I think you're obviously throughout the game you're going to go through spells, aren't you? And I think he will be. His role tomorrow should be, quick passes, get the ball progress, and progress quickly. One thing I'd say about Chelsea is our defence can be, you can get at us defensively. Again, it's not so much about maybe Saka being able to get round Kukurea. Sometimes it's just about him getting out wide and being able to whip a low cross in, and then it's about whoever's playing up top, whether they can get in front of their man or or those late kind of third man runs. I think that's the kind of that's where you can really get at us, is committing players forward, because also and another big thing to your game is set pieces. And that's the big thing that scares me, because even though we've got Robert Sanchez in goal, who has moments in him, we call it. You've got a very big physical lineup that can really hurt us from set pieces. So
absolutely, yeah. So that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, the set pieces again. I expect you guys to struggle with those, because we've got so many big guys who are very good at running that offensive system that they practice day in and day out in order to create opportunities. And obviously we've been given the tag of set piece FC because we are so good at it, but it's part of football and you just have to live with it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it. It's a part of the game. Like, it doesn't matter. A lot of this comes from being able to set up and put the ball in the right area, and being able to go, right, do you know what, we're going to put it on the keeper, and we're going to put 2 or 3 players just charging in on him, or we're going to put it back stick and load up in those areas. I think Gabriel won't be fit for.
No, not at all. No chance.
And he's your biggest. He's your biggest threat, but you are scoring goals without him as well from set pieces.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's probably the big, and I think it's also just a way that if you're not playing well, and let's say if you're not on it, it is a bit of a get out of free jail card for you, where you can go, just give you a what's it called, like, just give you a corner and attack it and go 1-0 up.
So 18 has said, huge game, would be a massive statement if we win this one. Chelsea haven't played a team as good as Arsenal this season, going to be a real eye-opener for Dave and the Blues. Well, Chelsea played Barcelona literally in the middle of the week. So it's not like we're the first team to go to the bridge this season with high caliber. They've every right to feel confident on the back of that win, that, you know what, we can go and beat, and that, beat Arsenal, because we beat PSG in the last 6 months. We beat Barcelona. So it is definitely going to be a massive statement if we win this one, because it will have been Tottenham, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. And that, to me, just, would just make everybody know, well, you know what, this is trouble for some people.
Yeah.
So,
And we, even though we're riding momentum at the moment, obviously we played Barca away. We've really struggled against them. So I mean, you've kind of got one up on us with that result. But it's I get the comment, because I think I think Arsenal are probably one of the best teams in the world at this moment in time. And I think whereas last season you would get to this point and you probably did not have the depth to be able to kind of, I don't know, just
Keep,
carry on that
yeah,
run.
absolutely.
This year
It's
you've
like
got it.
completely different this season to last season. You know,
Yeah.
last season we ran out. We physically ran out of bodies. We were playing people because we didn't have any other option but to play them. And this season we don't have that. We have players ready to step in. The next man up is a good enough player to step in and ensure that we continue the winning streak. So, you know, despite the fact that Gabriel Magalhaes is no longer in the team, you know, I think every Arsenal fan is more than happy to see either Mosquera or Piero Incapia come in tomorrow and do a job which we've seen that they're more than capable of doing.
Yeah, and that's big for you, and I think that's probably what gets you, puts you as that lead team in the title, really.
Yeah,
But it's and what I would say about Arsenal is it's you're gonna the Christmas period is gonna be big for you, and games like this because
yeah,
it's going to be, you've got Arteta, you've got Maresca. We'll call it the school of Pep, right?
yeah.
Through the school of Pep, both of these guys have come through and they're both going to be thinking tactically about this. It wouldn't surprise me if one of them did throw up a bit of an eyebrow raiser in terms of selection or lineup or formation. It wouldn't shock me. So I
I
think
mean,
it's
to me, nobody would be a shock if you see somebody on the pitch. I mean, Ethan Nwaneri in the midfield, I guess that would be a shock if you didn't if you played him instead of Odegaard or Eze. But other than that, I don't think Arteta's that bold to put anybody in the team that you won't be of thought he could be starting tomorrow and he could be a load of trouble.
yeah. I mean, I don't think this is going to be a free roaming game. I think this is going to be so cagey. I think it's going to be I actually think it's going to be your typical kind of big team kind of game where you think to yourself, do you know what, it could be a 1-1 or 1-0 game.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess that rolls me nicely into your prediction: 1-1 or 1-0. Who do you think's going to get that 1-1 or 1-0?
So I think
I do know who you put in your predictor league.
oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah. Do you know what? I flip flop though all the time, don't I? With stuff like that. I mean, it's a tough one because I think the game could be cagey. I do actually think Cole Palmer being available changes it because I think it's one of those things where there have been games where we've looked for a maverick, somebody who can do something extra, and I
Yeah,
think him being at Stamford Bridge could provide that bit more than what we need.
yeah,
I I feel like it could be a 1-1 game or a 1 or 2-2 game. That's my head speaking, but my heart wants to say 2-1 Chelsea.
yeah. That's the result I saw you put.
Yeah.
Let's see what comments we've got. Injury update: Trossard to have another test today. So the news on Trossard from Friday evening was Trossard played full part in training. He was running around, flying about as normal, as was Gabriel Jesus, who I believe played in a friendly on yesterday, in fact, against Watford, our next door neighbours at London Colney. We'll decide tomorrow if Gyökeres and Havertz can play on Sunday. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't imagine they both start, but certainly one or the other could come into the fray. Obviously, Gyökeres would be probably chosen because he's been playing more regularly, and the team are probably more understanding of how the system works with him, as opposed to with Havertz coming back, having not had anything more than the one game at the start of the season. Gyökeres will be an interesting addition to the team if he's available, because it just means that the way we play changes. He is a go forward striker. He's always looking to make the run. And I think the instruction has been clear that we didn't early in the season create too much for him, but now I've noticed that we started playing the ball into areas for him to run into much quicker than we did at the start of the season. And it's taken a bit of time for other players to understand where they need to put the ball for him, and for him to understand when he can make that run. So that's going to be an interesting one for tomorrow. Cam says, let me see. Chelsea haven't beaten us in the last 6 games. What are we worried about? My only worry is that prick João Pedro diving and Palmer scoring a pen. Well, João Pedro might not be starting tomorrow, according to Dave. But we'll see. That could be the secret X factor tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because you look at the bar. If Arsenal are going to play a high line, then you almost want to copy and paste what we've done against Barca.
Mm.
And I think that could really, that could be the option.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where we need to see. Yeah, we almost need to see that lineup, and I think João Pedro is one of them where he's played for us as a 9, but almost he's better as a 10 as a player. But yeah, we've got so many options.
The problem you have is most teams probably realise an out-and-out striker up against our back 4 is almost useless. It almost effectively ends up being a drop 9, because there's just nothing given by our centre-backs against a one-off striker.
Yeah, I think what we've got is our game's based around our wingers being able to get the ball out wide and deliver and crosses, and to produce that little bit of magic for players. I think if Palmer can come in and play in the 10, that would help us tremendously. It's just somebody with that little extra bit of magic who could really do something. But it's, again, he's coming back. Do we rush him into it? You almost. I mean, the guys. I mean, Palmer's played big games now. He's performed. He scored England's goal at the Euros final when he scored the goals at the Club World Cup when we won it. He's got goals in him, and he could be that X factor that we need really for this game particularly. But
yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a ding-dong affair tomorrow at the Bridge. I'm expecting a very exciting game. I don't know how to, really think about it. I don't think Chelsea have enough, although they're very dynamic, I don't think they have enough to penetrate the Arsenal defence if it's at its top. I've seen good teams come to Arsenal and just don't even get a look in. I've seen good teams come to Arsenal and not even get a shot away. We had a spell of, I think, 2.5, 3 games where we didn't even have a shot on target against us. And that is the key to winning the league this year for us. I think we could potentially beat your record of 15 goals conceded in a season this year. We're on 6 so far.
Jesus Christ.
We're nearly at halfway point, Dave, and we've only conceded 6. I don't think we concede. If we don't concede tomorrow, I don't think we concede before the new year. I'll be honest with you.
Do you know how wild that is?
That's wild. But
you know how many games are going to be played during Christmas as well.
This defense is different gravy. Obviously I grew up in the Tony Adams era, but this defense is built different. It is just.
I think I think at some point during the season when games will mount up, goals just go in, and also you have to remember, like I think you're saying teams come to Arsenal, teams come to Arsenal. Yeah, like you're coming to Chelsea tomorrow. Like
Yeah,
it's a different prospect of a game where I think Arsenal were very. Don't get me wrong. I think your defense is great. And I think you've got Saliba's a Rolls Royce, who I think he's someone that I think you're. Do you know what? I think you're probably very happy that he signed a new contract recently
mm,
because I had him on the cards for Madrid. If I have to be honest with you, or like a Barca, just one of them signings where I think he's going to go there. But he obviously, looks at the project and
yeah.
really, really, values what Arsenal are doing at the moment, and built up a really great partnership with Gabriel. But it looks like whoever you're putting there looks good. Um, but yeah, I think that it will be tough for you to break that record. I can't see it happening. I think that's because I don't think the defense, as good as it is, it's just not. Nah, I can't see it happening.
All
I'm not
right,
even gonna
we shall
fathom it.
see. We shall see indeed.
Yeah, what's your
Anyway,
prediction?
it's been very good to have a chat with yourself.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed the game, but not too much. Okay,
yeah. Tony, what's your prediction? What are you going with?
I'm going with Arsenal 2-0.
You don't think we're scoring?
I don't think you're scoring. I don't think many teams are scoring. I mean, Chelsea aren't like blessed with, striker or you get your goals around the team. Everybody's contributing, which is obviously a good thing. But I don't think
I mean, remember?
I'm not too worried that you're going to be peppering our goal tomorrow.
I mean, remember last year? I think what was it? Was it 1-1? 1-1 at the bridge last year when Neto cut inside and scored.
Yeah.
So if if we want to put the biggest offensive lineup out there, we could probably go Neto, Palmer, Esteval. So Neto on the left, Palmer in the 10, Esteval on the right, and then you could probably put João Pedro up front. And that is a very offensive-minded team, and that would cause problems.
I don't think Maresca goes that way. I think he thinks
I
a
don't think he
little bit
does.
more.
But
You
I can
think he
see it
does?
happening during the game. Like during the
Okay.
game, I could see that front four potentially happening, or even putting a Delap on there just as a focal point
Yeah.
to almost ice, like just to be in amongst it, so your centre halves have something to think about all the time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game.
Definitely. So, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the like button and hit subscribe if you're not. And otherwise, there will be a watch along tomorrow, 4:30 kickoff on the Arsenal 101 channel. Dave, again, salutes, and we will catch up, no doubt, at some time very soon.
Good stuff. See you later. All the best.
Take care, guys.